Welcome to this week's Explorers Club. I'm Miss Mary, Storytime Programmer at the Faulkner County Library in Conway, Arkansas. And this week we are exploring an artist in his work. Why are we exploring an artist in his work? Well, it seemed like a good idea because this week is the week of Conway Arts Fest 2020. Arts Fest is virtual this year and it's running from September the 26th until October the 3rd, and they have videos and activities scheduled daily. Conway Arts Fest is hosted by Conway Arts Alliance. Sorry, I hope I didn't mess that up. So look them up on the internet. I know that they are giving away arts kits that I think were supplied by the Kiwanis Club and a whole bunch of other things. On Sunday the 27th, we did a program about urban art and murals, and there was a link. You can still do it. Sign up to get the art supply package that goes with that. Anyway, just check it out. Super cool. Today we are exploring the art of Gustav Klimt, an artist that I am really always been pretty fond of. We have a couple of books here. This is a book in the story closet titled Adorable Adele, and we are going to read this. This is the story of one of Klimt's very famous portraits. But you can check this book out. This is Klimt and his cat, and it's the story of Klimt in his art studio and styles and inspirations, told from the perspective of one of the cats in his studio. It's really cool. This book skews a little bit younger. This book skews a little bit older, or if you're just very, very interested in some more details and kind of the process. At the end of Klimt and his cat, there are some photos of his different pieces of art and the different styles. And this book, Adorable Adele, also has some up-close images of the portrait of Miss Adele. So without further ado, let's get started with Adorable Adele. This is Adorable Adele, a modern fairy tale by Peter Stephan Jung and illustrated by John Martinez. And it looks like it was published, and I apologize for any mispronunciations, the New Gallery Museum for German and Austrian Art in New York. Oh, I just love this book so much. I'm so excited. Look at that girl. Oh, my word. Once upon a time. That's how most fairy tales begin. The story of Adorable Adele is a fairy tale too, but this one really happened. It all began in Vienna more than 100 years ago. Have a look at where Vienna is. It's in the country of Austria on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean from the United States. So here's approximately where we are in Arkansas. There's the Atlantic Ocean, the British Isles, Austria, Vienna. Boing. A baby girl by the name of Adele was born in Vienna in the summer of 1881. Her father, Moritz Bauer, was a well-known banker there. At that time, Vienna was one of the most magnificent cities in the world. There were very few cars in the streets, and they looked rather funny. Most people rode in carriages and wore beautiful clothes, the kind you might wear if you were playing dress-up today. Adele grew up to become one of the most beautiful girls in Vienna. When she was 18, she married a wealthy man named Ferdinand Bloch. Ferdinand owned a large sugar factory. He made sugar cubes, granulated sugar, powdered sugar, all types of sugar. When Adele was 23, Ferdinand hired a famous artist to paint a portrait of his adorable wife. The artist's name was Gustav Klimt. There he is. It took 4 years for Gustav to finish the painting. He wanted the world to see how beautiful Adele was. Gustav showed Adele in a beautiful dress filled with glittering shapes, some of them made from real gold and silver. It's hard to imagine spending 4 years on one piece of art for us when we're kids, but yeah. If you look at Adele's painting closely, you will see 20 eyes looking back at you. Can you find them all? What else do you spy? Coffee beans, snakes, sugar cubes, letters. I see some eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-ish. I think I see the coffee beans. When the painting was finished, Adele and Ferdinand hung it in their large, lovely house in the center of Vienna. They put it in a room with other paintings by Gustav Klimt. This room was Adele's favorite in the whole house. Adele and Ferdinand lived in this house for just a few happy years, but then something terrible happened. Adorable Adele became very ill, and she died. Ferdinand was very, very sad. He would stand in the room where adorable Adele's painting hung and remember all the wonderful things he loved about his wife. Some years later, in 1939, World War II broke out. This was a time of great danger for European Jews. Adolf Hitler, a terrible dictator, wanted to kill them all. Ferdinand was Jewish. He had to run away from Vienna. He had to leave everything he owned behind: the sugar factory, his house, his furniture, his porcelain collection, even the painting of his adorable Adele. Ferdinand escaped to Switzerland, the only country in Europe where there was no war. Back in Vienna, the painting of adorable Adele ended up in a museum. Adele and Ferdinand had no children of their own, but they did have nieces and nephews who used to call them Aunt Adele and Uncle Ferdinand. One of their nieces was called Maria, and she loved the painting of adorable Adele very much. Maria tried to get the museum in Vienna to give the painting of adorable Adele back to her. She said it really belonged to her family and that it never should have been taken away from them during the war. Finally, after many years, Maria got her wish and the painting was returned. She didn't keep it very long. She wanted it to be seen by as many people as possible. Today, the painting hangs in a very special museum in New York City called the New Gallery. Here, the whole world can see how beautiful, adorable Adele is. Here, she will live forever. And then that's the end of the story in this book. And there she is again. Our first art project of the day is to make a 3D tree of life. Why are we gonna make a 3D tree of life? Because one of Klimt's famous paintings is titled Tree of Life. And let me show you what it looks like. Isn't that amazing? Look at that thick trunk, but its arms spread out so wide and so tall as well, and those branches curl up into little spirals. So this is the 3D tree of life that I made, and I'm gonna show you how I made it. And if you get the packet for this week, you'll have the materials to make this at home. I've got 6 gold chenille stems and a brown one, and I've got a white styrofoam cup. I'm gonna tilt the camera down so you can see how I do this. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is take 2 of the chenille stems, and we're going to just wrap them around one another about 2/3 of the way up. So like this. Just kind of twisting them together. If you do bread ties or something like that, that should be familiar. And there, leave the top. It's kind of a Y. Y. So there's one. See, I am twisting the 3 Ys, the bases of the 3 Ys together, just like I twisted them together before. And I'm going to stop when I get to about here. Maybe I'll give it one more twist. So it should look a little something like that. And now I'm going to take pencil. I am going to start making those spirals. Sometimes using a pencil kind of helps me get started. All right, I've curled the ends of those branches, and now, so it'll stand up, I've got a base here. I think I'm going to use this pencil to get it whole started. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to reach in and maybe kind of flatten the bottom of those chenille stems to give it some support against the base. Kind of like that. All right, so there it is. But, you know, Klimt did not make simple drawings or paintings, so I am going to snip off a little bit of this brown chenille stem. There we go. And I'm going to make this into a little bird. All right, so I'm going to come up here and twist that around. And then I'm just going to fold the wings down like that, almost like you're making a little M. Like I'm getting ready to write Miss Mary. I'm going to see if we could use these metallic markers on the styrofoam cup to decorate the base. You can. But all right, I bet you can get creative and decorate that base however you want to. But here is my 3D tree of life inspired by Gustav Klimt. Ta-da! For our second Klimt-inspired art project, we are going to need a few different things. This activity skews a little bit older, but I don't want my younger ones to get discouraged because it's all about the process. And it's about introducing ourselves to different things to look at, different ways to think about making and creating. So I don't want you guys to be afraid of it. This is a collage portrait inspired by the portraits, like the portrait that Klimt painted of Adele. And I'm going to show you how I made this. And the supplies to do this will be in your packet as well. I'll have a magazine, because you'll need a magazine. I'll have gold and silver metallic markers, because Klimt used a lot of gold and silver in his work. And I'm going to show you how I did this, but then again, it doesn't need to look like this. If you've never drawn with these before, take this time to explore these markers and what they look like on the black paper. If you get this magazine and a pair of scissors and you just are like, I am loving cutting out all these images from the magazine and gluing them on this paper, then that's fantastic. You are getting something out of this art process. But for those of you who want to see how I put this together, here we go. So to get started, the first thing I'm going to do is look through a magazine and try to find a photograph of a person that I can use to make something in the style of the Adele portrait. And I think I'm going to use this. And what I'm going to do now is cut out this person. Here we go. Okay, now that I have cut this nasty looking person out, I am going, you could use a pencil, I'm going to use this yellow colored pencil, and we're just going to lightly trace around her, just like that. All right, so you can see where I lightly trace. And now what I'm going to do is cut out all the clothes parts. So we should just kind of have her head and her hair up there. Trust me, this is gonna be so cool. Here we go. All right, so you can see here, I cut her clothes off, which sounds kind of like a weird thing to say. And I am gonna use my glue stick and glue the head on here. And I know where the head goes because we traced it. So for the next part, we are gonna use these gold and silver metal pins, because do you remember in the story where it mentioned that Gustav made Adele's portrait using real silver and gold? I don't have any real silver and gold, but I do have these really awesome pins. So you can still see the line where I traced where her shirt and her jacket were. So kind of like Klimt, I'm going to use my silver and gold markers to make a pattern where her clothes were. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm trying to decide what pattern I'm going to use. I wonder what pattern you will use. You enjoyed exploring the art of Gustav Klimt with me today. Thank you for joining me. I don't know who donated this to the library, but thank you. You made me so personally and professionally happy. This book is perfect, and I plan on using it again for future art-themed programs. You want to learn more about Klimt? Check out Klimt and his cat. It is a very charming book, and you're going to learn a little bit more about Klimt than we learned in Adorable Adele. And we made this tree of life. If you make a tree of life, I want to see it. And if you make a collage Klimt portrait, I would love to see that too. Look at how metallic and shiny those markers are and how well they show up on that paper. Well, keep exploring art. I hope you can take a moment to stop and really look at the world around you. Look at the shapes, look at the colors, look at what's shiny, look at what's dull. And pet a cat. Klimt really did love his cats. Have a great day. I love you all, and I will see you next time. And if you want these materials, don't forget to click the link with the post. Mwah!